health?
Health is normal living, normal functioning of all the organs of the body and the mind. And health is real, whereas disease is unreal. Lowered level of health is disease, whereas disease is unreal. Lowered level of health is comes in, it's bright. If the light goes off, it's dark. There is nothing called darkness. It's only diminution of light is called referred to as darkness. So here we do not refer absence of disease as health. We say absence of health or diminution of health is disease. That's how we compare. In a state of health, all the faculties of the body and mind work in perfect order and perfect coordination with each other.
So when we say compared to other systems of healing like allopathy, Ayurvedic, what is so different in nature cure or nature hygiene?
Cure of disease is not a distinct science. Here it is regarded as a concomitant reaction in the process of improving health. When we improve the health, disease vanishes. Just like when you bring in light, darkness vanishes. That's so simple as that. In other systems of healing, they try to diagnose a disease. In allopathy, they have so many different ways of diagnosing a disease, and they name a disease. All the names of the diseases depend upon the symptoms of the disease. That means they are caring to change the pathology. They are caring to change the pathology of a person. Pathology is the end result. Whereas in nature cure, we do not care about the pathology. We care to improve the physiology of our individual. And that's how we are removing the cause of the disease. As long as the cause persists, the effect will also persist. No matter how many medicines you take, no matter how strong the medicine is only taking away the effect of the disease. What good is that? Here in nature cure, we ask what is the cause of a disease. In allopathy, we go to their own website which speaks about a certain disease, say asthma or diabetes. When you go to that website, it says the cause of this disease is unknown. So what are you treating this for? They say, is there a cure for this? There is no cure for this disease. They also say that. Or are we just paying money to swallow drugs and medicines in that body without getting cured? Let people be alive, aware about what's going on. In nature cure, we do not try to cure disease. We do not try to diagnose a disease. But how are you able to help people? Because we care to teach people how to live a healthy, natural lifestyle. By living a natural and healthy lifestyle, they improve their health. That's all is positive. When they improve their health, disease vanishes.
So there are people who practice different kind of healing practices. Some practice, Ayurveda. Some practice allopathy medicines. Can people practice nature cure by like simultaneously practicing other Ayurveda? Some practice allopathy medicines.
It's different. It's not wise to put your foot in two boats. In fact, nature cure should not be compared with any other medical system, because this is not a medical system. We are not trying to cure a disease. All other systems are trying to cure a disease, or just when they say cure a disease, they do not have any cure. They are only removing the symptoms of the disease. Symptoms are the effect of disease. What good is that? There is no good to compare nature cure with other systems of medicine, because we are not trying to cure a disease. We are trying to improve health. Ask those systems if any of their practices try to improve health. They do not teach us to do anything about improving health. They are only concerned about curing a disease. That also curing a disease symptoms, the effect of the disease, without dealing with the cause. So we think it is not scientific. They themselves say this is disease management. They let them keep managing disease. We don't want to do that.
So Arunji, please tell us about are there any guidelines or sutras that one can follow while practicing nature cure?
The only guidelines that we give is to improve health. There are 5 guidelines to improve health: ample exercise, adequate rest, positive food, positive thinking, creative and productive activity that will brings out your passion, skill, and helps others. That's the 5 sutras of nature cure. And in this, each sutra can be explained differently. All our bodies are made up of the 5 basic elements of nature. We should use the same elements to heal our body and to maintain health and to improve our health. That's the second 5 sutras. What are this? How do we know that these 5 elements of nature are the ones out of which we are made? We refer to the Vedanta. The Taittiriya Upanishad says, Yathotpatti Shariranam Vedanteshu Pratishtitah Jivano Api Chikitsayam Anusthana Kramastata Parasmada Bhavad Vyom no Vayustato Anala Tatam Bhamsi Tata Prithivi Tata Aushadhayo Abhavat Aushadhibhyo Annamutpannam Annadbhutani Cha Bhavat Atasarva Sharirani Bhavantyadi Yugagame. These are extracts from Taittiriya Upanishad and expressed in the Swadhina Swasthya Mahavidya, the Grantha, the Bible, the Sanskrit original book for nature cure, compiled by my grandfather Acharya Lakshmana Sharma. And in this book he explains where he got this information from, and he explicitly expresses what is the order of creation of man. And he says the same order of creation is also the order of priority for healing the sick and maintaining health and improving our health.
Arunji, can you elaborate that with an example? Like how is that the priority of healing in one's life? Can you please elaborate that with an example of how is that a priority in one's healing?
In nature cure, we see the order of creation, that the space was created first. We call it ether. From ether came air, from air came sunlight, from sunlight came water, from water came earth and all the other planets. From the earth, so all the plants came up, and each plant is different for different species of animals, and all other animals select the plants of their choice by their instinct, but we do not. And in the plants, in the food that comes from plants, we get all our medicine and food. When we are sick, we take the same food in a smaller quantity and that becomes medicine. And in nature cure, we don't use any other medicine other than these 5 elements, because we are made out of that. If a wooden chair is broken, we cannot repair it with a needle and thread, and we cannot repair a torn cloth with a wooden limb. So in the wooden chair we have to put a wooden limb to repair it, and in the cloth we have to use a needle and thread to repair it. In the same way, we use the same materials out of which our body was made. So when we say air is food, sunlight is food, we know that we cannot live without air, we cannot live without sunlight, we cannot live without water. Those elements which are essential for our living is also our food. That's how we recognize that they are our food. Without sunlight, no living beings in earth can subsist. Wherever there is less sunlight, there is less human being, less living beings. And about the priority, the subtler the food, higher its potency. Because as we see, we can be without food for some time, but we cannot be as long without water. We cannot be even without sunlight even for less duration. We cannot be without air for even few seconds sometimes. So we see that need of those elements are more. And God has also created abundance of those foods. For our greed, not even the whole world is not enough. For our need, God has given us plenty.
So when you talk about medicines, that there are no medicines, so you mean to say that people don't need medicines at all when they turn to nature cure practices?
Thy food be thy medicine, said father of medicine, Hippocrates. When we say food be thy medicine, our body does not recognize any other things other than food. If you give the medicines made up of inorganic chemicals like other systems of medicine, body rejects it. In fact, body finds it obtrusive and invasive. So body stops all the repair work and attempts to fight with or remove this obtrusive material out of the body. In that process, all the symptoms of the disease stop and we get a wrong impression that medicines cure disease. Medicine cannot cure a disease. Medicine is a sin of meddling with nature. Nature has got a design by which it cures our body, it heals our body, it improves our health. But if we violate those laws and if we break these laws, our body will become sick. Better take care of that laws of nature.
So please let us know, what is natural hygiene?
As the name suggests, natural hygiene is a process of improving internal and external hygiene through natural means. That means when you improve your hygiene, hygiene promotes health. So that's the fundamental principle of natural hygiene, is to use natural means to improve hygiene, and through hygiene health improves. Self-maintaining and self-improving mechanism. Total reliance on this creative intelligence of life is natural hygiene.
You also call this as a divine science. Can you please elaborate on that?
It is a divine science because all other systems of health, systems of disease, systems of medicine, they are all created by man. This is the only true science of health given to us by God. That's why we call it divine science. How do we support this statement? All living beings, they do not go to any doctor or check up their body. They have their natural instinct by which they maintain their health, improve their health. It's only human beings who have lost touch with nature, who have deviated the lifestyle to so far away from nature that we are having to relearn how to take care of our health through natural means. That's why it's a divine science. Thank you.
So you also speak of this as a law of life or a law of nature. Can you please elaborate what is exactly law of life or law of nature?
I would say laws of nature, all the bodily activities are governed by the laws of nature, because when we do not feel hungry, we are not supposed to eat. We never eat when we are hungry. We forgot what is hunger. That's the way we are living, far away from natural instinct. All the animals in the jungle, they do not hunt when they are not hungry. The tiger will be resting and the deer will be moving around it. When it by its smell it will know that it's not hungry. So they feel so safe. So when we compare ourselves to these animals, we find that we have to change our ways of life to such an extent that we should eat only when we are hungry. When we start following these laws, then we will slowly find out that we are becoming healthier and healthier. All these laws, when we eat our food, we do not chew our food, but when we see the cows keep on masticating their food, mastication of food is so necessary. We have lost all that because we eat spicy foods. Spicy foods induce us to eat without hunger. That's not nice. When we are hungry, without the spicy food, we are able to enjoy the taste of subtle tastes of cucumbers, tomatoes and carrots and things like that, and we are able to enjoy it. As otherwise, we have seen people always taking even simple vegetables with lot of spices and lemon and things like that. That's what I call laws of nature, which we do not follow.
And people also say that this science is quite ancient. It's coming from an ancient wisdom. How is it connected?
Its nature cure is as old as life itself. From the time life came into this world, all the living beings were given this instinct. Guided by the instinct, they would eat. They were guided by the instinct, they would select the kind of food that they need. Every living creature knows what kind of leaf or what kind of other food that they should consume by their instinct. Only human beings have lost the connection with nature, and we are having to be told by a nutritionist as to what we should eat. That's a pathetic state we are in. So all these laws of nature are actually governed by our instincts, habits, because once they follow these laws for some time, their instincts come back alive, and then they will be able to follow everything right in the right manner. Initially, it's a little difficult because they have to relearn all those values.
So it would be interesting to know from you, how is it that you got into this, maybe say field of nature cure or just practicing nature cure? How did you get into it?
I was fortunate to be born in a family of natural hygienists. My father, my grandfather, they were all natural hygienists. In fact, my grandfather, Acharya Lakshmana Sharma, has been regarded as the father of nature cure in India. When he got introduced to nature cure through a Western author, Louis Kuhne, he read that book with interest and he healed himself following the instructions thereof. And he was astonished with the similarities of ancient Indian cultural practices and the instructions given in that book. So he made a research into our Vedic scriptures for 30 years, and he collected a number of information that was helpful in maintaining health and improving health. Those simple practices like sipping small quantities of water, as suggested by Louis Kuhne, is actually our ancient cultural practices of doing achamana. In that way, there were so many such instructions, which is actually our ancient cultural practices. That's why he was interested in this, and he passed on the information to his family and his sons, and my uncles and my father. They all followed this system. They preached to so many people, and this message spread. And I also followed the same tradition.
What is illness and what is health?
That's a very interesting question. Most of us are interested in curing our illness, whereas we say illness is not real. Disease is unreal. Dis-ease or lack of ease is just a lowered level of health. That's all. We all have some level of health in us. Disease is nature's expression of its will to health. When it wants to bring us back to health, it has got to work hard to remove the accumulated filth in the body. In the process, temperature raises and we get fever, and we are so scared of fever. Many people rush to a hospital or just rush to take a pill to suppress the fever. And some people think that during fever you should eat food so that you don't become weak. Feeding in fever is feeding the fever. We follow so many things without knowing what is right. So we go wrong. When we learn the laws of nature, we will know more and more about this in due course. And that's why we say it's necessary to follow the laws of nature, at least through an instructor.
You say that disease is unreal. Everyone has been sick at some time or other. Haven't you been sick? If everyone gets sick, wouldn't you say getting sick is a rather real thing?
What is unreal, what is real? That has to be compared with darkness and light. When there is less light, it feels like darkness. Darkness is diminution of light. Disease is diminution of health. It happens to all of us when we violate our lifestyle a little bit away from nature's laws. And when we get sick, we should not worry about it. We should only compensate with following the right path immediately. Compensate by skipping a few meals, and then we are immediately rewarded with good health. That's all.
Check, you're really so scientific. And how does they mention in Vedas make it believable?
Nature cure is the only true science of health because it's based on laws of life, and it's also based on the part that it takes care of the cause of diseases. It does not simply remove the symptoms by using unnatural means. We use natural means to remove the cause of the disease. What's the cause of disease? Ill health, unhealthy life practices. That's what unhygienic lifestyle is the cause of all diseases. We introduce hygienic lifestyle and disease goes away, health comes back. So scientific and safe and sure.
You recommend creative expression of creativity as a road to good health. Can you share a little more?
When we have an empty stomach, our creativity increases. When we practice breathing out and holding the breath, our new ideas creep in. So we are not used to keeping our stomach empty for a long time. But if we do, our creativity will increase. Each of us is blessed with lot of creative intelligence, but we do not leave our stomach empty for a long time, so this creativity goes dull and dull and dull. So let us practice fasting, let us practice leaving the stomach empty for long hours in everyday life, and we will see our creativity increases.